Welcome back to Friday Night Footy. At half-time, the Cats by 4 points. And just looking quickly at the stats before we go to the war room, it's unbelievable. It's so close. 183 disposals each. The centre clearance is 9 to 20 is the big blowout. Essendon 20, Cats 9. Outside of that, though, tackles 28-25, inside 50s 27-25, and of course the score, the one that counts, 4 points of difference. One little stat before we go to the war room, boys. How about this? Of 6 of 7 games Geelong have played this year, they've been down 17 points or more in the second term. They got out to 18 points down. Essendon 18 points in front at the 12-minute mark. And, of course, the Cats have gone on to win all of those games. To the war room to find out what's been going on, boys.
We love stats. You give me stats and I'll shut up, Jared. We want to talk about the clearances, Ed, and I'm glad you brought them up because that was the game for us. And in the first quarter, I thought they blew some opportunities, the Bombers. We said they had to come out by hand and be really aggressive. Let's just have a look at the numbers and look at how that translates. 14-5 were just the flat clearance numbers. It's what you do from there that really counts. 5 inside 50s to 2. They actually end up in front on the scoreboard on the balance sheet, Jared and Jono, when really they weren't entitled to.
No, you're right. That's the number there that is really the killer for Essendon. They had so much dominance, had the ball inside their forward 50, and yet they weren't able to get the domination from the clearance numbers.
And purely from a first half as well, King, in the end. It was 19-9 in the end. So the second quarter evened out a little bit, but it was the first quarter where Essendon controlled the clearances.
The game is in risk-taking out of that defensive half, or particularly that defensive 50. Let's have a look at a couple here. One not so good in terms of the work by Geelong. They're pure, we know that. But this is fantastic by the Bombers. They're preparedness to get up and try and win that ball back. The captain led the way. That's the game, isn't it? If they can get through, they score.
Well, it just goes to show they play a high-risk, high-reward scenario. But when the risk fails, then you do get scored against.
If it goes to Motlop, you generally go okay, Jono.
Well, you do, and they keep taking the risk. Yes, they've turned a few over throughout the first half, Geelong coming through the corridor, but they continue to pull the trigger on that kick. And look, at the moment, especially the last 10 minutes of the second quarter, they actually started to get reward on the back of using the ball through the corridor. 5
of their 7 goals have come from counter-attack, Jared, so Geelong's game is up and going. It was late.
Well, speaking of Geelong's game, you gave us 2 theories about Geelong's game at the start of the show. The highway and the ring of pressure. And I think they conflated in this one particular passage of play. Have a look. Here's the inner ring. You can see that there is where the contest is going to happen. On the outside, you've got this man here. Now, you just follow Jimmy Bartell, and if you like, follow this bloke Selwood too, because he is also in what you call the outer ring. Just continue to watch these players. There's Selwood. He will not get sucked into the play because he knows he's the architect. Finally, the ball comes out. Johnson is still here, but there is the other man. He's still out there on the ring. And look what happens. Here's the 2 ideas coming together. It is Bartell straight onto the highway, and the Bombers should know that that's their style of play, and they weren't able to block it up. So a couple of roadworks need to happen for the Bombers if they are to get back into this game. It was a really good piece of passage of play that showed just how spot on you were with the way they played.
That's their strength, isn't it? We've known it for a long time. Stopping it's a whole other proposition altogether. I thought the Bombers' kicking game really come to the fore in patches of that first half. We know they're an elite kicking side. Let's have a look at when they got their game rolling. They were able to take that first ball wide, Jono, and bring it right out into space to draw, in my opinion, the defensive unit of the Geelong Football Club forward.
Yeah, and look, you look at I was just looking at their kicking efficiency numbers across the first half, and it's going at 73% at the moment. So they're using the ball extremely well. They're great numbers, and if they keep that level up, then this game is going to be tight right to the end. But that may be the difference. If they can keep the efficiency in their movement going forward, then they're going to put the ball in great spots to kick some easy goals.
And here it is again. They always do this. People don't talk about the Bombers being a boundary side, but that's exactly what they do. They always set up that first movement into the forward line by getting it out wide, drawing the player, and then continually get it to that short man, whether it be inside or outside, as it was just there.
Davey took 3 marks inside the forward 50, but the problem at the other end was the concern. That ball that was driven in long by Geelong, we normally see this at minimum come to ground, Jared. And I've never seen, in my opinion, the Cats forwards be outmarked so close to goal. Alarm bells rang straight away when we saw this. Now, Hawkins is crook. He's got a sore back at the moment. He can't leap for those balls. Maybe you're not going to get a great return out of him. But things changed, didn't they?
They did. I thought the coach was quite superb. He noticed that Podsie Adley was a problem for them, so he pushed him to the defence. And Pods, I thought, had 5 magnificent minutes that actually kick-started them. And you also saw Tom Lonergan get dragged down by Hurley, and he goes down and kicks a goal. But the switch was just good coaching.
You can just see there, Mackey's ready to gamble and go and intercept that ball. Davey, who should have had a bigger impact in this game than he's had on the scoreboard. They've kicked 3-5 from set shots, and that's the game in a lot of ways from a Bomber point of view. But we do know that the coaching work of Chris Scott has been first class.
Oh, it's been excellent. That move at 10 minutes 30 to go in the second quarter of Pods to bag and then Taylor moved forward. That lasted 5 minutes. And as you said, then Taylor went back, Lonergan floated forward with Hurley and had an impact on the scoreboard.
Ed, a bit to correct for both sides, but if the Cats forwards can start marking the ball, look out, here they come.
Good on you, mate. And Jared Healy mentioned during the course of the game, let's hope the Bombers work out that Harry Taylor's a left footer as well, because 3 times that quarter he just turned in and was 10 metres clear because the Essendon players were asleep. Hey, a great stat going into the third quarter. Neither team have lost the third quarter this year. What's their winning margins?
Oh, Essendon are leading the third quarter by 153 points and Geelong by 123, so they're both sensational in the third quarter.
Mark McClure was the legend of the Premiership third quarter. Who will win it? We'll find out after this. Welcome back on Friday Night Football. Cats leading by 4 points, and at the half-time break, the skipper Job Watson just having a chat to Brendan Goddard, the boom recruit, just telling him, mate, this is the way we want you to do it, not your way, our way, and telling him to run to the right spots. Is that a fair...
Yeah, well...
Very fair.
I think it was a discussion, but it might have been a bit of you do it my way or...
Get on that Geelong highway. Give me some stats. Give me something.
Well,
Where's the upside?
I know what Chris Scott would have done at half-time. He would have went to Mitch Duncan. He said he wanted to be like Dane Beams, who's only had 5 touches. Selwood's only had 6. Okay, so they've done a good job on him. Enright, 8. Bartel, 8. Christian, 9. There's upside to the Cats here in this third quarter.
Oh, Job Watson's still talking. Jeez, he's been a good go, hasn't he?
And plenty with the Bombers too. I mean, Hurley's had nothing almost, Crammery nothing, and Davey almost nothing at all. It's just absolutely ordinary up there. Some of those tall forwards, gumboots, hardly touched it at all as well.
All right, well, as we said, this is the Premiership quarter. Let's get back to Eddie Howe.
Start of the second half, the opening bounce. The goal after the siren at half-time put the Cats in front. High ball comes down towards half-forward. Lurking at the back was Hardingham. Schroeder in trouble. Couldn't get boot to ball. Selwood against the flow. In trouble West. Jabs it across towards Kelly. Hurried kick down towards the attacking 50. Johnson, 18 possessions alongside his name. Not all of them stellar. Picked up by Watson. His 15th. Dug it out in the opposite direction, though, taken by Enright. Kicks it down towards full forward. Launching behind was Hawkins. He copped one. The ball's still in play. Smets looks back and finds a leading Stokes.
Wonderful composure that for a young player, Schmetz, to come out. Quite easily could have just snapped the ball over his shoulder and had a shot, but great composure to find Stokes.
15 gone!
So that kick after the siren, as I mentioned, from Schroeder.
20.
Could mean back-to-back goals here if he kicks this, without Essendon touching the footy. And he puts it through. Matthew Stokes.
So he's kicked a couple, and the Bombers now face a team that's kicked the last 5. Tom talked about that at the start of the match, kicking, 5 goals in a row, consecutive goals, and it's happened here. So this is a great start for the Cats. I mean, they've turned this whole match around. 21 points down halfway through the second quarter, and maybe 1 goal away from being in a real spot of bother, but they've worked their way back and they've got themselves into a controlling position. Well, Tom, it was your stat earlier at the start of the match, those consecutive goals that Geelong can kick, and they've done it again tonight.
Between the second and third quarters, Bruce, and that's 5 in a row now for the Cats. And the Bombers would have known that going into the game and need to address it pretty urgently.
So a couple to Stokes, Watson out of the centre. They'll really rely on a big second half from their champion. Hurley's been quiet. Good tackle, Taylor brings him down, wants a free. I think it'll be a ball up.
Thanks, guys. Ping straight away.
Have you seen the forward line, Lee, for the Bombers tonight?
Well, they've got the 3 tools, but really Crammery's the only one who's actually been dangerous. Certainly the other 2 have been held under control, Gumbleton and Hurley.
Selwood, Kelly, Smets. It was clever stuff coming out of the back line. Bagley and also Stokes. And then Stokes just puts the ball over the line, and he's going to be pinged.
Why did he bring it back in?
You just dived over the line, Essendon. Your kick. Your kick.
And It's such a difficult thing, isn't it? I mean, he's in an absolute no-win position. So Bagley, back they go. Hooker, cross the ground. Now they can set up here. Hibbard's on if Myers could quickly get it to. They were two of the stars in that sort of romp early for the Bombers.
Took the safe option there, Bruce. Actually had Carlisle in the middle of the ground, and it would have been gaining meterage going forward. So playing a bit safe. Need to take risks.
That's what's changed for Essendon, hasn't it? They either they're not, their Geelong pressure's getting to them a little bit, but they're just not playing the ball on. Geelong are in control in this part of the game.
Careless kick by Winterlick, too high for the leading target. Getting in behind though is Hocking, made it okay. Heppel running out of space, fends off, hooks it back. Hall and Smith will mark though. Intended for Watson. Hall and Smith on the defensive 50. Swings it out wide. Bartell leads back in the race. Coming up was Hibbert. Hit his boot. Did it go out on the full? Well, the crowd over there think it did. The boundary umpire thinks it didn't, so we'll watch it again. No, the boundary umpire's spot on.
Yeah, good call. Bell Chambers, where Selwood, the third man up.
Watson being held. Joe Watson. Essendon free kick. Hole.
So the skipper from centre wing. Gee, that's a good arm coming from Stevie J.
It's a big risk because if he missed him by 5 metres, it's probably a 50-metre penalty.
Yeah, well, Stevie J, he hasn't got any problems in that way with confidence. Hurley, big fly, and big kick to the goal square. Touched. They just need something big to happen, Essendon, don't they? They need a goal, but they need something big to happen just to get a change of momentum here.
Might have been Gumbleton who touched that last one too. Mackey and Podsy Adley. Well, that was a big hand pass as it turned out. Gumbleton's got it, stood up in the tackle, goes to Davey, to Melksham, vacant goal square, but he swings it well wide.
What the Bombers can take confidence about is their performance in third quarters. They have been a very good side all year, but they've certainly been a good third quarter side, as have the Cats. But they should believe in themselves that they can just get the confidence back.
Smets from behind. Well done by Guthrie to Smets. Heard a voice and goes long with a hand pass. Johnson. Still Johnson over the shoulder. And this ball goes out of bounds, or did it? No, he kept it in according to the umpire. He goes over the other shoulder now. Just a few party tricks from Stevie J. Finds himself in space, doesn't like that, needs to be crowded, brings the best out in him. He finds Stokes on the lead nevertheless, feeds it back inside. On the overlap is Selwood, searching kick inside the forward 50, brilliantly done, onto the chest of Hawkins. Geelong looking irresistible at the moment, sends it long down towards full forward. Taylor in the offensive goal square, knocked down in front. Motlop had it, lost it, too high on Bagley, no free kick. Now Bagley's in trouble, a sea of it. Hand pass came to Zaharakis from Goddard, now it's with Hibbert. Arches the back, found a way through, well almost. Hand passes to Myers, Myers back to Carlisle, Carlisle to Hooker. Dangerous pass. Hooker drives it up towards the wing on a lead. Crameri couldn't reel it in. Ball off his fingertips and out of bounds.
Push to Crameri.
Well, it's a free kick to Crameri. He disappeared, but the umpire has called it a free kick to Crameri right at the interchange gates.
Hibbert had the right idea there, took the game on, he took a risk, he almost got brought down, but that's exactly what the Bombers are going to have to do to get back into this game.
Got to be brave, don't they? They've got to take those risks, and here he is. Again, they cross the ground. Now, Fletcher. Now, the next kick, interesting. He's going to have to go wide, though, Bagley. And he does to Carlisle. A lot of uncontested marks for Carlisle. Now they may be on. Goddard, good with ball in hand. Well, goes bang along, and Lonergan and Gumbleton. But at least they quickly get it from one end to the other.
Courage is often measured by the way you attack the footy and put your head over the ball. But the Bombers need that mental courage to bring the ball into the corridor, take the risky option going forward.
Boundary throw in then, in a dangerous situation. From behind, Blitzarves knocks it down. And the umpire calls for it.
Geelong have been very good at a lot of these, of declaring non-ruckman as the ruckman and letting their ruckman jump third up. Let's see if they do it here.
A lot of whispering goes on in there. The guy that went up first just drops his arms. There's Hocking, vacant goal square. And it's gone through for a goal. Out of nothing. Lead back to just 2 points now. Heath Hocking has had a pretty good night. Opportunist goal there.
Yeah, you draw a stoppage in your deep in your 50-metre zone. You only need to get a offensive player with a half a yard of space, as Hocking did, and you got a chance to nail the goal. So that transfer of play that created the stoppage deep forward, very effective.
So 25 minutes between Essendon goals. They've kicked 1 goal, 6 in that time, and Geelong have kicked 5 too. They needed a lucky break. They needed to get some momentum back. Maybe that was the moment. So back to a 2-point game. We just feel like Geelong's dominated for half an hour, and yet it's a kick in it. Selwood, Kelly, they're building those two. So is Stokes, such a factor. That kick should be Hooker. Good stretch in the front though, from Blitzar's high on Christensen. And Hooker knew it.
Good play by Christensen. He knew the tackle was coming, so he just dropped his knees a little bit, very hard. I mean, you can do it. Have a look at this. He sees the tackle coming. Just drop a little bit. Draw the high tackle.
And the value of a big, honest contest from your tall forward or ruckman there. Blitzavs really had no right to compete for that. He sort of came from nowhere, but brought the ball to ground and resulted in a free kick.
Christensen kicks the goal. So Stokes and Christensen continuing to be important as small forwards. His dad Brendan is up at MacArthur River tonight, the goal for Carpentaria. Mum Helen, brothers Luke and Aaron are both huge Essendon fans. There was a great story this morning about Alan and his dad played for so many clubs all around Australia. A lot of them premiership clubs, and this young boy or man has really made his mark. They're a good team, we know that. They're a great team, and they've responded well.
Counts by 8 points then, 61-53. Hocking's goal, the last one for the Bombers, came after 6 consecutive behinds. They need something again now. Geelong able to answer through Christensen. Now it's Johnson out of the middle. Surges forward, a very high ball. Going back Bagley. He was protected by Carlisle. Unfortunately, Bagley didn't hang on. Ball spills out of the pack. Carlisle, a sense of humour, fed it back in. Christensen was tackled, couldn't forge his way out of there, and we'll have a ball up about 25 metres out from the Cats' attacking goal, wasting no time, and Hawkins takes advantage of that, thumps it towards the boundary, and now a boundary throw-in, still a dangerous spot. Steve Johnson up to 23 possessions. Knocked down in front by Blitzarves. The hand pass from Hall and Smith charged down. It needed to be Kelly almost through. Hall and Smith trying to back out of the pack, nothing doing.
Dennis, you mentioned Steve Johnson's 23 possessions. He's getting really proactive at the stoppages, on the move every time. The last centre clearances, he's doing it every time there's a stoppage. He's on the move hard.
So Howlett, Bartel just went without it. Comma tries to work it forward. Did well. Comma held it up. Back to Heppel, back to Hardingham, back to Goddard. That's good handball. And then Podgielli rips Hebron and a boundary throw-in.
Took him a couple of centre bounces. Podgielli has started spare in the back 50, but then he's drifted back in to be on the periphery of this.
Hibbert and Podgielli are technically playing on each other. Hibbert setting up as a loose man for Essendon and Podgielli for the Cats down the other end of the ground.
And Hall Smith's the one that's tagging Watson, and Heppel's trying to get between them at the moment. Well done, Goddard. They get it out. Under pressure, though, Hibbert kicks poorly, but it was under pressure. And at the moment, it's been played on Geelong's terms, Enright. You feel like the Cats have got a little bit of control over this game. Sets it up to centre-half forward. That was not a great kick. Gee, Hooker should have held the mark, and then Schroeder off the side and a behind.
Quite stick, didn't it? Most of the big marking players, apart from when Lonigan's big jump in the second quarter, the ball's just not quite sticking for a lot of those marking players, the tall defenders, tall forwards.
Get in now.
Cats by 9. Bagley brings it in. Outside the 50 from behind Hardingham. Stokes going back and finding it, the youngster. Playing his first game, Thurlow. Gave it across to Johnson. Swings it down towards full forward. Opportunity for Motlop. Stolen away well by Carlisle. In trouble, Hibbert. Just flings it across to Bagley. Clears the zone. Comma got a bad bounce though. Deflects it in the right direction. Zaharakis fell over, but not before he'd seen Myers grab the football. And now they work it around the outer side. Watson to Davey. His kick bounces its way to Hurley. Now Comma realises not much up ahead. He waits, puts it back to the man who ran hard and gave him the ball. That's Hurley. Hurley paddling it down towards the pocket, pursued by Enright. He's trying to get this right to left bend. Harry goes back and just helps it across the line, coerces it across the line, and then comes to Stokes. No respite. Guthrie in short finds Duncan, who's been quiet.
And then Duncan, who did kick an important goal in that second term. Well done by Motlop. Dangerous position, Zaharakis. Handball, not good by Schroeder. Hibbert can't get a handle. Watson can in the back. Free kick.
Joe Watson, back.
In many ways, I reckon it's come down to Watson versus Johnson and Selwood. I mean,
He's been good, Johnson, hasn't he? As a genuine midfielder, just keeps finding the footy.
Hooker legged. Advantage given. So Essendon with a little chance here. Howlett, can he use it? He does. Winderlich has been very quiet. We know he's a good kick normally, and he goes to the pocket and finds his man in Hurley. He's had to work so hard here, Hurley.
Just where you are, Tom.
Just feel like Nick's some good signs from Hurley in this term.
Yeah, he's really attacking the ball, coming at the kicker. It was great patience from Winderlich. Then he allowed Hurley, we see there, to play his little trick on the defender, allowed him to work him into the space, and great delivery. It'd be great to see him go back and kick this one now.
Set shots tonight, Geelong 7-2, Essendon 3-5. Now, this would be something from the pocket. Not going to be a score, not directly, and a boundary throw.
Yeah, I've seen him kick some really good long left foot goals, Hurley. From that particular angle, I just thought he might come inside 5 metres and have a go on his non-dominant side.
Bit of Nick Riewoldt in that last lead from Hurley to back and then forward. Just not stopping, working hard. Wide of the pack, it's Melksham under pressure. Kick is stifled about 5 metres out there by Podsiadly. Down with Duncan. Heppel charges in. He's dragged down by Bartel. Comma in trouble. Put down in turn. Blitzard's got him and we'll have a boundary throw in.
He's looked great down there, Podsiadly. He's reading the play really well, setting them up on their forward thrust when they win it cleanly.
Still the Cats by 8 points. Two masters of the third term battling it out right here. Someone maybe about to crack. Trying to get out of there was Kelly. Heppel in the opposite direction. Bounced off Harry Taylor. Comes to Bill Chambers. The high ball. The floating ball. Camped underneath it. Missing it the first gamer. Thurlow right through his arm. Slapped back across the line. And there weren't, in fairness to the Bombers, too many Bombers around that football. Comma pleading his case. A lot of Essendon players, but in the flurry of all that activity, who can tell?
So Bartel goes to a one-on-one. Podsiadly, well, he probably could have taken it a bit easier. Slaps it to Lonergan. And then West has to search. Hardingham should be able to turn West inside out. He does. Bell Chambers, Hardingham. Still Geelong matching up pretty well here, and they may force a turnover. This will be huge. West maybe not the right guy to try and create there. Essendon need to win it back. Howlett, Zaharakis goes into the forward 50. Hurley, not quite. Little kick coming out for Thurlow. Crash.
Encourage you talking about Dennis. This is a bloke who's got one kidney.
Yeah.
Backing back. That's as vulnerable as you get on a footy field there with the one arm. And he's copped one in the ribs there too. Terrific contest. They're the contests that are actually going to define this game tonight, the one-on-one contested possessions.
Kick falls in short though. Heppel, who's lifting in this term, comes up, takes the mark. Just under 9 minutes remaining in the third term. Heppel, the high ball inside the forward 50. Podsiadly works his man under it. Got a fist to the footy. Behind his end right, hard against the boundary line. Does he keep it in? No. Zaharakis drops the mark. Ample time to find it on the deck. Looks inside the forward 50 yet again. Thumped away this time by Taylor. Opportunity in the pack for Selwood. He couldn't control it. Christensen goes down. Tackled brilliantly by Davey. Ball rolls out. Picked up by Cramry. He in turn was picked up. The ball comes towards Gumbleton. Smets has got him. Trying to reel it back in Gumbleton. Cramry had the football knocked away by Selwood. Getting it out of there was Duncan. Inside the centre square taken by Hawkins. Hand passes to no one in particular. Sent back in again by Carlisle on a collision course. 3 players met at the footy. Here's a chance for Davey. Davey gives it to Comma. And Comma kicks the goal. Oh, how about that?
I think they're wondering whether it hit the post, Dennis.
Oh. I didn't take that into account, Lee.
Scoring review. We believe the ball's hit the post. Just double check.
Bartel went straight to point for the post. He was the closest player there. He's pretty confident it's hit the post. We'll get a good look at it here.
It's a goal. That's a goal.
The umpire's in a perfect position to adjudicate.
Yes, the ball doesn't look like it changes its angle of flight. That's one of the things that they go on. But again, if it's inconclusive, it's a behind, because that's when the goal umpire's called.
Wow, what a big call it is too in the context of the game this way.
Divide the crowd, there's no doubt about it. I mean, you've got to say, from that vision, it's inconclusive.
It's a very inexact science, this, isn't it? This is a good angle, one we rarely get. Umpire's call, you heard from that distant voice, wherever it comes from, in outer galaxy.
So behind a comma, no deviation in the ball, but it would have been a big call to say it wasn't inconclusive. But gut feeling when he kicked it, it was a goal. Goddard. Myers, well done. Heppel has lifted Dennis. And Essendon having a patch here to centre half forward. No free kick. She got whacked there. Back to Zaharakis. Heppel creating. Goddard. Little pokey kick, doesn't get far. Howlett. Back to Hibberd. Hibberd having to create. Gets onto the left. Back to Zaharakis. Off a step. Again touched off the boot. Getting back. Winderlich. Winderlich's give. Hocking for a second goal. And he misses. They just can't buy one at the moment.
What about the two efforts there by Jimmy Bartel? Affected the first. Smother went back again to put on that pressure.
It's very hard to actually have a spoil with a bit of contact that's not actually a free kick against, but the umpire thought it was legal.
6-5 to 7-15. They've kicked 1-10.
Out of defence, Johnson to midfield. Duncan spots the runner. Motlop cruises past, goes down towards the pocket. It bounces right on the 50. Selwood tracks it towards the boundary line, and truly it runs away. Shows his frustration. Boundary throw in just outside the 50. Cool as a cucumber. Both of them. West knocks it down. Charging in hard, Hall and Smith gives it across towards Johnson. Had the run of it. Couldn't control it though. Watson, some champions in there. Hall and Smith glad to be in that company. Won the football. Slapped out of there by Hawkins. Motlop, half chance in the pocket. And that's all he needs. Oh, that's terrific. Stephen Motlop on the sharpest of angles.
You talk about something out of nothing. The Bombers had the last 7 inside 50s, were able to really sustain and build some pressure, unable to convert. The ball turns over down the other end, and class finish there from Motlop. He owed them one. He really mucked up the inside 50 prior to that, so great to see him capitalise and take that opportunity.
Fantastic, isn't it?
So in this third quarter, Lee, Motlop, Christensen and Stokes have been the goal kickers for Geelong. 3 very similar players.
Absolutely. There's a lot of stats in the game. The ability to kick a goal when you have a shot wins you so many games. As basic as that, and that's what's happened tonight, mostly for Geelong v Essendon.
And a lot of their goals are coming from a kick-in within about a minute of a kick-in at the other end. Zaharakis put Heppel under the pump. Hocking back to Watson. Watson, well done, off a step. It was a terrific bit of vision because he could have blazed.
That thinking under pressure, isn't it? Just you're under pressure, middle of the ground, just found the 3 men.
And for all the training now that modern players do, that's the one intangible. That's the one thing that you can't teach, you can't coach. That ability to make sound decisions under pressure.
And this is still the biggest thing in footy, Nick, to kick these goals from 48 metres out when your team needs it desperately. And they just can't buy one. They've kicked 111 since they were 6 goals 5.
It's an old cliche in footy, bad kicking is bad football. And the Bombers, prior to the last goal from Motlop, as Nick said, just had the ascendancy of the game.
Davey's been subbed off, sorry by the way, so love it, Murray on.
Bartel to the outer side. Johnson camped in front. What a game he's played. Hall and Smith sold Stokes into trouble. Stolen by Watson. He'll kick it. No, he won't. He hangs it out to the right. Even the great ones can't kick the goals.
The disease, isn't it? We see it so often when you start missing Nick, there's just the pressure goes on the next kicker, and he misses as well.
No doubt.
In this term, 3-1 to 1-8. Here's Duncan, just lays it off. Kelly runs himself into trouble. Back to Duncan. Accelerates or tries to get away. Hand passes long. That was his best concession to all of that. Bounced obligingly for Smets. He just eluded the grasp. He goes up towards the wing. Blitzarves takes the mark. He's like a rangy colt. He looks inside. Good kick. Hall and Smith goes back. Coming up was Hooker. Tried to knock it away. Tackled by Duncan. Broke free. In trouble. Gives it across to Lovett Murray. He's under the pump. Crashing in was West. Put Heppel down. Schroeder gives a hand pass to Podsy Adley. Can he punish them? Well, the fungus has spread to Geelong boots. He's put it out of bounds in the right full forward pocket.
Dare we say, kicked it like a defender there, Podsy, didn't he? Drifted down and usually sort of put down your glasses when he's 50 out on the left.
You reckon 5 minutes down back does that to anybody?
Absolutely, it can.
Fletcher short. It's one goal. As Dennis said, 1 goal 8 to 3-1 in this term. I mean,
Yeah.
only in an hour's time or half an hour's time will we know whether they've blown their chances. But in general play right now, Essendon enjoying a good patch. They just can't finish it off. Podsy Adley to West, off a step. Good kick towards Hawkins. A bit of a wrestle, and he's done it again, Lonigan. I just love this flexibility of Lonigan and Taylor going forward.
Well, we've said all night the predominant forwards haven't been able to mark the ball, but Lonigan's taken his second 15 metres out.
15 gone.
And it just seems they're so preoccupied with Hawkins. Again, Carlos done really well, taking the front spot.
20.
Prior to that, it's been the Essendon players coming over the top, but Lonigan just read it so well in the air.
So he kicked a goal in the second term in similar circumstances and gets another one. Well, you just feel like the writing's on the wall. There's a long way to go, and Essendon's a mighty good footy team, and they haven't lost the last quarter, but all the omens are in place here, aren't they? I mean, Geelong is so efficient compared with Essendon tonight. See, Watson's gone to full forward here as a one-on. So maybe something can be created at that end. That forward line hasn't been efficient, has it?
As James said, well, Lonigan's actually pushed back into defence, I think, so he must have just drifted up again.
Here we go.
3.5 minutes out from three-quarter time. On the way down, Bill Chambers won it. Johnson put the body in, knocked away by Howlett. He's over the football, scampers free. Johnson again. Hand passes to no one in particular, made it interesting. Down goes Myers, could have almost got a free kick. Now Kelly's away. Christensen is in. Motlop is free, confronted, beats his marker, looks towards goal, snaps, and he misses. Oh, what a big chance that was. What a big chance that was.
I have a feeling Geelong often drop their ruck and back in defence and allow Lonigan to take off.
I reckon also,
Just
Lee,
to
that
cover.
they've identified that Essendon do have potential potency as key marking forwards, and therefore any opportunity Geelong defenders got to drift forward, drag them out.
So Fletcher to himself and try and kick it as far as he can to centre wing. Bill Chambers and Hook are the targets. Cramry gets at the back. Still with Cramry to Bill Chambers, roving for a moment. Now that's not a bad kick for Watson. If the bounce is there, can Joe kick this one? No, he cannot. It's extraordinary. They've had so many opportunities and just can't finish it off.
I feel like the perceived pressure out there plays such a role in those missed opportunities. It's been so hot for the entire game. When you do find yourself free, you're expecting the pressure to come, you're expecting the contact.
Johnson, 28 possessions now, and a great mark is taken by Harry Taylor. There's no I in team, but there is in Stevie. He's been terrific. There's Taylor, runs inside the centre square, searching kick, angled kick. Lovett Murray goes back, gathers the football, lays it off. Oh! Bell Chambers lets Stokes through. Oh, there's a killer, a haymaker. That was the song. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Well, Tom Bell Chambers doesn't scan as well. Poor old Tom. Big fella, not the man you wanted with the football. Tried to finesse, and Stokes doesn't play those shell trick games or those shell trick games without winning.
That perceived pressure again, it was just that siege mentality. And even in the celebration, the person who came in the screen was Tom Lonergan again. He's drifted forward from full back.
Let's have a look at this, just didn't quite find the target, but great play by Stokes. Not very often you create the turnover and you kick the goal yourself. He's been terrific, Stokes. He's actually been really good now as he's evolved into a genuine midfielder rather than just a permanent forward.
They've got a few of those, Lee, haven't they?
Yeah.
Johnson, probably the greatest example. They turned Ablett one to the other. Great smother. So now it's the equal biggest lead of the night, but it's Geelong's way. Schroeder's kicked. They've kicked 9 goals for to 110 after they trailed by 21 points. And Essendon have faced a lot of difficult situations this year, but on the field this is about as tough as it's got. Duncan's kicked a half forward. Well done by Howlett. And then Howlett under pressure kicks out on the full, but he gets a push and a free kick. I think the biggest thing about Geelong is just the number of contributors they have.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just so even across the board. There's so many good players. It's total football, isn't it?
Well, not many teams can lose the best player probably of the modern era in the last 20 years at least and still go on to win a premiership the next year.
That's a good point. You know, Ablett going, we all thought they were gone when they trudged off the ground in that prelim final. And 12 months later, they were holding the trophy aloft.
Howlett to the interchange gates. Ponziadli, a defiant fist. Look out! Oh. Well done by both players on a collision course. Young Schroeder who can put the body in. Oh, and down goes Goddard a second time. He collided with Schroeder first. He collided with Kelly then. Meantime, back at the game. Schmetz lines up and kicks a goal. Oh, wow. Spare a thought for Brendan Goddard. A human punching bag in there. And while he was on the deck, Geelong put the exclamation mark on what had happened in the build-up. Smets from long range, and suddenly they're up by 27. The battle of the third quarter specialists has certainly fallen Geelong's way.
See, Brendan Goddard here, he got knocked over a couple of times, but then Christensen got the turnover. And Smets kicked that. Yeah, it was a half chance from 50-metre line, but he took it, and that's what Geelong have done. Essendon haven't.
Bell Chambers probably should have taken that out of the air, had a chance. Lovett Murray, the sub, coming on for Davey. Gumbleton's had a really quiet night. Mackey's had the job on him, which was a surprising matchup. Bartel caught. Well, they've just got to get a goal back here, so they just have to. They haven't been able to conjure one. They've had plenty of chances. Melsham, Stokes, inspired. Bartel carrying the ball forward. Stokes caught up. Bit of a chicken wing there. And a ball up.
Well, Bruce, we spoke about the red time specialists of the Geelong Footy Club. In the red time, which is after the 20-minute mark, it's 7 goals, 1 Geelong to 4 points Essendon. They've just been able to finish off the quarters. That's physical and mental maturity.
Howlett pushed over. Battles after it, still in that pack. Bartel tries to fling it out. It was at Stokes. Might have been Christensen after all of that. The lookalikes. It goes down. I can only see the bottom of his boots. Hand pass from Taylor comes across to Mackey. No excuse. Mackey drives it out towards the outer side. In front, Motlop. Motlop's away with the green bottoms clearing. He runs around the outer side. Inspired himself. Hand pass to no one in particular. Paul Smith gives it back to Motlop. I'll do it again, he says. And then he's run out of bounds and will have a throw in.
He hadn't got the boundary line alongside him. He would have got clear. Geez, he's got a burst of speed, hasn't he?
That's so.
Well, he's gone up a couple of levels in the last month, I reckon. What a weapon he is. What a quarter of footy. They call it the Premiership quarter. Well, the team that's won 3 in the odd years, 07, 09 and 11, has put a space between itself and the other unbeaten team. They've been inaccurate, Essendon, but they've been outplayed as well. And at three-quarter time, they face a mountain. It's 87 to 60.